And yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into a super wild card weekend in the NFL of Parlay with the G's. Fellas, we finally made it. We got through all the bullshit of the regular season, the highs and lows, but now it's the money time with the teams that we can trust in the NFL playoffs. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of Parlay with the G's. I'm your co-host Alex Gray here, Cowboys Nation in the building. We got Trevin O'Kane, Poppy Steelers Nation in the building. What up, Trev?
What's good? The forever mid Steelers, all of that just to lose in the first round of the playoffs. I love it. Mike Tomlin, GOAT, positive record. Let's go. Never a good draft pick. Stuck with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, you better start
In the
visualizing all
playoffs.
the good that is of Aaron Rodgers, because that game was pretty nuts, but he looked pretty good on the back half stretch there. Some good passes across the middle. The one to Austin down the sideline was money. Thielen's looking a little more reliable for him right now. Jonnu Smith is a good target for him. Like, if it's just one game, I don't know, maybe Rodgers does it this week.
Look, like I have nothing against Rodgers actually, and I do believe that he's an upgrade over pretty much everything that we've had since like 2015 or whenever Big Ben left.
Duck Hodges.
Yeah, Duck Hodges, the word that I can't say on this podcast, Rudolph, all of those guys, starts with an R. But like
Got a
he's not
great
a
stash like TC
yeah,
nowadays.
but
Yeah.
he's not a franchise quarterback though. You know what I mean? Like we need our next Ben Roethlisberger, and that's not Aaron Rodgers. And unless we do some like trade ups for some better picks or go pay for Joe Burrow at 200 million because he's upset with the Bengals or whatever other Steelers conspiracy theories that there are out there. Like realistically, we need a good draft pick, and being eternally just slightly above mid is never gonna get us there, honestly.
Do you love Mendoza?
Yeah,
Or do
but
you
like you
do you
think
love
that you
Moore out of Oregon? Like, do you think one of those guys could solve
I
the problem?
I I would love to get Mendoza, but you think the Raiders are trading? I mean, it would be a Raiders move to like trade away that pick, honestly. But like, I mean, I don't know. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, that was a steal. Came out of the same draft as Eli Manning back in '04, but I mean, amazing. Super Bowls, playoffs all the time. Hey, we'll see. It's just win, baby, and the Steelers got that in their DNA. Huge win over the Ravens. I think for Baltimore, it's heartbreaking that he missed that kick. They lose. I had them as preseason division winners, but at the same time, too, like, what are you expecting? You're 9-8. You kind of blew your opportunity when you went 1-5 in the beginning of the season. It's kind of too little, too late.
I mean, they had a lot of injuries this season. There was a lot of potential for that team, when the season kicked off, but between all the injuries and all of that, the season was cooked, and it kind of, it is what it is for them,
Like, it would have
honestly.
been crazier for them to make the playoffs than them not make the playoffs. Like it would have been gone down in history as like you can start now 1-5 and somehow make the playoffs. They might have been the first team to ever do that if they did it.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I mean, I'm not like, I don't really follow all of the Ravens situation all that closely and the Harbaugh situation and all of that. But I know I saw some comments on social media from fans saying that they loved him, they owed a lot to him, but it was time to go. I don't know whether those comments are accurate or whether it's, fan bases being kind of emotional and always thinking that someone needs to get fired. I don't really know, but seems like a weird season, honestly, for Harbaugh to get fired, in my opinion. Like, I think a lot of the reason that they started out slow was because Lamar Jackson wasn't in at quarterback for a number of games amongst like other injuries and issues that they
Yeah.
had. So like,
I think that
how
was
much can
more
you
like
really blame on
longevity of,
him?
like I think it was just like, dude, we gave you like the best tools for the last 10 years to win a Super Bowl and you couldn't get it done. It's going downhill from
Yeah.
here. Your prime is past you. I think that's kind of it was. I think it falls too much on this season where it was like a longevity of a decision. It's not like, you know, I think it was kind
Yeah.
of like, make it to the Super Bowl or nothing with Harbaugh this year, especially now, after they started 1-5. So
Yeah, and I mean that's fair for sure. Just once again, just the way the season played out, it felt like a weird season for it. But you know, It is what it is. I'm not disagreeing with it. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't follow that all that closely. I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't really care about the Ravens,
Yeah, fuck the
but
Ravens.
I know all
yeah.
about the
That's all
Saints,
it's
Falcons,
like. I
and
wake
Bucks.
up, fuck the Ravens.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, like, yeah. I can't remember the last time I took a stat sheet for the Saints.
So, I mean, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, they were all on in-season Hard Knocks on HBO last season. They did it this year on the NFC East. So you kind of get to peel the curtain back, see some of those team meetings with some of these teams. And I mean, Harbaugh is a leader of men. There's no doubt about it. You know, he's old school. He's by the book. He's going to get the best out of everyone. I think with the Ravens, though, you're just looking at a team that notoriously comes up short with big expectations. You know, they're the one of those teams that phenomenal in the regular season. You want to make money, follow the Ravens across the regular season. They'll probably end up coming out with like a 12-4 record in a 16 game season, 13 wins. But we saw it, you know, that Tannehill year when they hosted Tennessee, the Titans come out and just blow them out of the water. And it's like, why did you go 13-3 in the regular season to lose to Tennessee in the first round of the playoffs? We saw them lose in the AFC Championship to the Chiefs, and when Flowers fumbled that ball across the goal line. Or last year, another perfect scenario, right? You win a playoff game, you go up to Buffalo, Mark Andrews drops that pass. Not necessarily Lamar's fault, but it's like it's just coming up short a little too often. Here they come up short again. And I think as an organization, you kind of just are like, all right, well, we can't really seem to get over the hump here. We have all the tools. We need some sort of a change to try to get past this point because they really just couldn't get past the AFC Championship, and a lot of the times they would lose first round in the playoffs with a phenomenal regular season record.
Well, and
But enough
I
with the
do,
Ravens. And let's
I
move
do.
back to another playoff team.
All
The
right, yeah,
Carolina Panthers.
that's right, baby. All right, so let's move on. We got co-host TC Ty Cobb, Panthers Nation in the building, also a fellow playoff team on the podcast
Yes,
today.
sir.
TC, what up, baby? Panthers Nation, keep
So,
pounding. Cam Newton is going to be pounding the drum this weekend. Things are
I
good
mean,
in
yeah, there's
Charlotte
a
right now.
reason I changed the background back to the final score at the end of the game when the Panthers beat the Rams. Am I buying any merch that we won the NFC South this year? No, because we lost our way into it. But just like Trevin, it's like you're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like
you're in the
Cam Newton
dance.
said it best this morning. It is a brand new season. It's a brand
It's
new
a
season.
new day,
And there's only
new
six
day.
games being played at week one, and it's win or go home. You can be a different team in the playoffs than you are in the regular season.
Just got to
I
show
mean,
up.
it's a week to week sport, as we
Any given
say.
Saturday afternoon.
Any given Saturday. I mean, that's what we say for the Cox, and apparently this week we're saying it for the Panthers too. But I mean, you saying Trevor to lose in the first round, but it's like, who knows what happens? I think these playoffs,
All bets
are
are off.
a little bit more shaken up. You're seeing a couple new teams, a couple new division winners this year that we haven't typically seen. Chiefs are out of it. That's a big one for everybody
Hmm.
eyeing. Seahawks are getting a bye. Broncos are getting a bye. We haven't seen that in a super long time. So I'm excited for this. I think there's going to be a couple like mix-ups, a couple mishaps, some big spreads, and then also some really tight games this week. Jacksonville, they're a threat. Bills kind of on the downslope, Eagles on the downslope. It's a win or go home week, and so I'm excited to see who's going to come ready to play. I think weather's going to be a factor this week as well. We've talked about rain in Carolina. Might see some snow around the U.S. It's getting cold, so it could be a fun week of football. A lot of expectations for a lot of people. A lot of people's weeks will be ruined, and a lot of people's weeks will be made. I'm hoping mine's made, but we're here to build one thing and one thing only, and that's a circle of trust. We're gonna dive into every game and then give you our best picks at the end of the pod.
Hey, I'll tell you who's coming to play this week. That's Parlay with the G's, baby. We're
Yes,
here to hit our
sir.
circle of trust. We're not going to miss this week. Shout out to the division winners in the NFL. We had the Seattle Seahawks taking the NFC West, Chicago Bears took the NFC North, Philadelphia Eagles took the East, and TC's Panthers took the South. In the AFC, the Broncos took the West, the Patriots took the East, the Jags took the South, and Trevin's Steelers took the North. So, fellas, let's get into it here. Super Wildcard Weekend. The stage is set, and we're going to begin with the LA Rams at 12-5, going to visit TC's Panthers, who finished the season at 8-9. Big spread here. Panthers are favored by 10.5 in this one on the road. Analytics giving the Rams favored by 10.5. Analytics giving the Rams a 75% chance to win this matchup here. Weather looking like 71 degrees, possible thunderstorms, but I'm not saying it. I'm just seeing a cloud icon right now. So no precipitation to talk about. TC, these are your boys here. Let's get it going.
I mean, it's funny. It's like I understand, the Panthers are on paper a worse team than the Rams. We played once this year and we beat them. And then you're gonna give us plus 10.5. How am I not gonna feel confident about that? With the chance of rain too, Stafford typically isn't good in the rain. And I've said the same thing about the Panthers since the start of the year. If our defense can play and they come to play, I mean, you can go talk about the Bucks game, the last game of the year. If we can hold the Rams to under 20 points, I think we win the game. Um, I'm gonna say that right here, right now. If the Rams score more than 24, I think they win. Um, but I mean, we saw a banger game the last time they played. It's a week to week sport. Every team is kind of, playing. We have home field advantage too. So we're
Right. Yeah,
really
that
good at
that
home
that
this year.
bank is going to be rocking on
Doing the
Saturday.
all black as well, black towels in the stands too.
Keep
It's gonna be awesome.
pounding.
So like, obviously, I wouldn't take my advice. I'm gonna go Panthers money line. I'm gonna go Panthers 10.5. I'm a fan of the Panthers. I'm obviously gonna stick with my team. I've done it all year. I'm not gonna switch it up now because it's the playoffs. If you're a smart investor, you're probably looking Rams money line, but there's no value in that. So I
Minus
see the real
600, yeah.
value in the game at plus 10.5. I mean, it's a lot of points for a playoff game. Hopefully some inclement weather as well. Good defense. I it just that's how I see it. I see there's too many points for a playoff game to not be that competitive. I'm sticking with the Panthers. I trust in my boys to at least cover, if not win. And I mean, if we win, we're winning the bowl. I promise you that. If we win this week, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Damn. All right. So let's keep pounding this week. Hey, you took care of them 31-28. You can see on the bottom left of your screen there, second time around. Why not do
Yep.
it a second time around, getting to host the Rams in the
Why not?
playoffs? That would be a major upset. Big, I'm seeing here Stephen A says biggest disappointment of playoffs if Rams lose to Panthers. Sometimes when you go into a game with house money, that's the best way to go into it. The expectations are low. You're playing free, you're playing confident, not a lot to lose, and that could be a recipe for an upset. TC rolling with the Panthers and taking the 10.5 this week. Trevin, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely taking the Rams to win here, but the 10.5 is pretty big here, especially given, did you all say it's gonna rain?
I mean, that's what everybody's been talking about. It's like cloudy overlooking right now, but I mean, in Charlotte, being from there, I would anticipate rain.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll actually take the Panthers to cover here as well. I'm
Let's
scrolling back
go.
through the last few weeks of games, and the Rams haven't beaten any team by more than 10 points other than the Cardinals in the last like
Right, the
number of weeks. So,
45-17.
yeah, so they're not really like blowing out teams by 10 plus points. So I like the Panthers to cover here.
I'll take the Steelers with you too.
There
Hey,
we go.
hey, slower
Bros
roll. All
supporting
right.
bros.
Monday night, we're not there yet. We're still on the Saturday wave here. All right, yeah. So Trevin gonna roll with the Rams on the money line plus 10.5. We'll get into later in the later rounds who we really think can win it all. But for this game alone, let's keep our eye here to start off Super Wild Card Weekend. TC, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm
Rams money
going.
line. You're
You
going
know
Rams
where,
money line because you're a
of
smart man.
course, of
You're a smart man.
course. I gotta go Rams money
Is he
line.
winning the MVP?
I would say maybe Drake May because of the record. I think a lot of times when you pick the MVP, you're going to pick the team with the best record that gets the one seed and the player that's responsible for that. I've seen a lot of back and forth in comments though, like Stafford for sure should get the MVP over Drake May. If I had to pick though, I'd give the tip of the cap to Drake May because his team has the best record. Actually, no though, because the Broncos have the one seed. So that gets a little complicated. But I would go Drake May over Stafford just because of the record. I think,
Yeah,
unfortunately for the Rams, there were games like the
I
ones we
know.
bet on earlier this year where you lost to the Niners on Thursday night. Should not have lost a game like that. Games like in Carolina where they lost that game as well too. Should not have lost a game like that. But the Patriots, 14-3 record,
I know,
change the
beating
whole
two
but
franchise
teams that are over
around. You know what
500,
I
it's
mean?
impressive.
That's pretty
yeah, I
Beating
impressive.
know.
two teams over
See,
500, impressive.
that was the stat that I was gonna pull out. They've had the cakewalk season that everybody's flagging of like, yeah, you've beaten two
Yeah, yeah,
teams
yeah.
over
The
500.
Give me the
fluff.
Yeah, yeah.
Chargers.
All right. So, what say you? I mean, look,
Well, wait, but spread for
you,
the game though. Spread for the game though. Are you taking? I mean,
no, no, no,
it's
no, no. Like, keep it on the MVP question because that's where we're
okay.
at right now. If I had to pick between the two, I say you have to nod the cap to the team with the better record. So I would go with Drake May in that
Okay.
situation. Although I love Stafford, great, great. Who would you go with?
Ah, dude, I mean, it's such a hard decision. It's like they're both like there, but it's not like they've had such. I mean, I think just Drake May's had
Yeah,
more
like,
of
is
like
there an MVP this season?
highlight reel. Like, oh, it's cool because he's young. It's very cool that he's doing it now with Mike Vrabel, brand new team. So I think that level is more impressive. But it's just hard to look at their schedule and be like, yeah, dude, he really went out there and dominated the NFL. It's like, no, they really did it. You know, like the Rams, I feel like dominated more, and I think they're a better team. And Stafford's more of a facilitator than Drake May. And Drake May had a Hall of Fame game against the Jets. It's like no shit he has a Hall of Fame game. It's like he's playing the Jets. You know, they didn't get a pick all year. So I mean, it's hard. I think it's up there, but I mean, I'd like to see the old guy Stafford win it just so he could retire happy. Drake May probably has 10 more years to win it.
All right, so you're going Stafford then.
Yeah, I'll go Staff.
All right. What about you, Trev?
I'm going Stafford as well. I'm not giving out freebies like you over here, dude.
Just so the Panthers can go beat the MVP too.
Alex Mandami.
I got special plans for the Rams over here, okay? But all right, yeah, Stafford, MVP. That's a 2-1 right there. So I'll take the L on that. I hope if you guys think he's the MVP, he's going to come out and play like the MVP this week, and that's why I'm whose house, Rams house on the money line. The spread though, plus 10.5. I mean, yeah, the Rams could blow them out. It could be a hot day and a
But the last time it was a
from the
hot day, they
get,
lost.
right, right.
The
Like
last
from the get,
at
I'm just saying,
Carolina,
from the
hot day, and they
get, things
lost.
could get out of hand. You never know. Devontae Adams is coming back. Puka Nakua. We love Corum. You got Kyron Williams to go along with that. You have your MVP, who you guys think is the quarterback, and a defense that's stifling with Jared Verse, and a Super Bowl winning coach in Sean McVay to go against Canales. I mean, that spells a lot of Rams for me. But keep pounding.
You're goddamn right.
All right, let's move it on forward here, fellas. Let's go to the NFC North, where we have a new contestant in the playoffs here that we haven't seen in a while, and that's the Chicago Bears. I'm sure you guys know a lot of Chicago Bears fans out there, but they're going nuts this year. They finally got some hope restored in the Bears franchise that suffered for so long. But right now, in this situation here, they are actually under Bears. The Packers are favored on the road here with 1.5 points, with analytics giving Green Bay a 56% chance to win this matchup here. These teams have split this season, so it's a little bit of back and forth that we see here. Weather in Chicago this week looking like 32 degrees, and I'm seeing a snow symbol, so we could get a snow game in Chicago Saturday night. Trevin, let's begin with you here. I think the big variable is Caleb Williams, right? We've been talking about if we can trust him or not, but he's looked pretty trustworthy, and the Bears seem to have that clutch gene, and Ben Johnson seems to be that key piece to turn this franchise around. However, though, the Packers have historically owned the Bears. They tend to beat them, and they're used to being in the playoffs. This sets up a good stage here. How do you see this one playing out in Chicago Saturday night?
Look, as a USC fan, I don't know if I trust Caleb Williams, but I think it would be absolutely hilarious if the Bears knocked the Packers out of the first round of the playoffs. And just for that reason alone, I'm riding the Bears, baby.
You have to. I mean, it's a
Bear
story
down,
for
baby.
Chicago. Chicago needs it. Their crime rate's down 40%. Let's keep it going. Let's get it up to 50. I mean, it's like, how much more of a Cinderella story could you get? You know, you're the Bears. You've been the worst team in the NFL for so long. You get a home field game in the playoffs, and you get to play against the Packers. I mean, how good is that?
It's teed up. It's a teed up Cinderella story for sure. I
Right.
gotta I gotta ride the Bears. Honestly, I don't.
Surprisingly enough,
Yeah,
they've been good. They've been good this year.
yeah.
I've been a Bears hater, Caleb Williams hater as well.
Right, but it's like you got to change the way you think about
I
them.
can't anymore. They
It's
are
like,
a
are the
good
Jags
team.
good? Are the
I'm
Panthers
sticking
good? Are
with
the
you,
Bears good
Trevin.
nowadays?
I'm also going Bears money line. Bears plus 1.5.
All right, keep it simple here. Everyone on bear down this week. Yeah, the Packers in their last five, 1-4. Jordan Love has been injured, but that looks like a team that's rusty right now. The Bears, on the other hand, 2-3 in their last five, but they've gotten some quality wins and they've been in a lot of these games. Like even with the Niners, they lost that one 42-38. So Chicago playing really hot right now. I mean, this one's a worry one. This one's sin contacto for me. I don't want to touch it, especially because you're just looking at a 1.5 spread and you think it could go either way. What I'm going to side with here is the fact that I think the Bears have is they have moxie. They've got a clutch gene. There's something in them where they rally and they're able to pull out these fourth quarters, like the touchdown pass that was 50 yards from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore game winner that we saw recently. I'm going to roll more of that with you boys as well here. Let's take the Bears on the money line. Take the Bears at plus 1.5. I think if you want a number to feel really comfortable about this week, why not turn the Bears into the Panthers and take the Bears at plus 10.5? I think if they lose, it's for sure not going to be by more than 10 points at home. They've just played too competitive this season to get blown out in my eye. All right, let's go next up, fellas. Here, we're going to move on from Saturday
Sunday,
to
Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday morning football, and it goes down in Duval to start off this super wild card weekend where we have the euphoric Buffalo Bills high and low at 12-5 going to play the Jacksonville Jaguars at 13-4. Jaguars looking legit. 8-game win streak. Texans 9-game win streak. Jaguars 8-game win streak. One of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. And they're actually undercats. They are 1.5 dogs at home. Bills are favored by 1.5. Analytics are giving the Jaguars a 52% chance to win this matchup. And weather in Duval is looking good. 64 degrees. We've had our thoughts on Josh Allen. We've had our thoughts on Trevor Lawrence on this podcast as well. But now it's time for a playoff showdown. Trevin, how do you see this one playing out in Duval?
I actually want to go last on this, and I'll explain why after you both go.
I would love to go
You want
first.
me
Perfect.
to? Oh, okay. All right, TC.
So I'm gonna give you a fun
Is it
fact.
now your apology tour to Trevor Lawrence?
Absolutely.
Or
I'm gonna give you a fun fact. Josh Allen's never won on the road in the playoffs. Um, and what a testament
it's not
to
about
Trevor.
back then, it's about right now. It's about
Yeah,
today.
no. Now he's gonna go play the best Jags team that we've ever seen. I think the Jags are special this year. I don't take it back. I think I was right in my thoughts about Trevor Lawrence, but he has changed into a new quarterback this year. He seems more confident. He's running the ball a lot more, which I hadn't seen since his college days, which was a big part of his game in college and why he won 2 natties. And I think like their defense keeps them in games a lot, and that's one thing I
Right,
always thought
right.
Jacksonville struggled in is defense. It seems like they have a very lockdown D. I mean, they might have a pick every game this year. It's crazy how many interceptions they have.
Turnovers.
They're all about turnovers. And the Bills just haven't been the Bills. Like I feel like they haven't gone out and dominated these games as they usually do. Josh Allen's, I mean, kind of been like it's like having to fight for his life from behind in a lot of these games. Um, and this is everybody says it's like its easiest route to the Super Bowl because he doesn't have to face Mahomes or doesn't have to face Lamar. I mean, he's got to go face Jacksonville down in Jacksonville when they haven't had a playoff game at home in God knows how many years. I mean, they're like the Panthers. It's like, you get the whole city behind you and things like that. It can kind of sway you. We talk about Bills' home field advantage. The Jags might have crazy home field advantage, and that's a
They
far travel for
they
Bills
did beat the
fans.
Chargers 3 years ago, and Trevor Lawrence went to Waffle House afterwards to
Yep,
celebrate.
exactly. So, I'm gonna stick with the boys. I like, I faded them for too long. I think they're on something special
Duval.
this year. I really like their head coach too. I mean, he's all game. He's no BS, no like sugarcoating. He's like, dude, I talk ball and I talk fucking ball, and that's it. I think they're gamers, and until Josh Allen proves to me that he can go on the road and win in a playoff game, I'm gonna keep taking the home team. So we'll ride with the Jags money line.
All right, let's get it. Duval coming in, getting the win. That place is going to be rocking. They love the Jags down in Jacksonville. That playoff game was crazy. Actually, the last time I watched them, like 3 years ago, I ended up falling asleep when they were down like 27-0 at
Yeah,
halftime
yeah.
and woke up to the Jags winning that game.
What
Could
an
not believe
insane
it.
game. What an
What
insane
a what a
game.
classic Chargers choke in the playoffs. Could we see more of that this season? Left to be seen. All right, Trevin, you want to go last, so I'll step in here. This one's tough, and this one's tough like the Packers and the Bears game is. You're looking at a 1.5 point spread. In my mind, this game could go either way. In the beginning of the week, I'm thinking to myself, It's Josh Allen, right? It's Josh Allen against Trevor Lawrence. Give me Josh Allen all day, every day of the week over Trevor Lawrence. The Bills franchise has been star for a Super Bowl for so long now. One of those teams like the Ravens that just continuously comes up short and gets their heart broken by the Chiefs in the playoffs. Is this the year where the path is paved for them to make it through and deal with less of those obstacles? Josh Allen is the one that I think about. James Cook as well on the offensive side of the ball as well. However, though, Buffalo has looked vulnerable this year, and there's
Their
something
defense,
off
especially.
about them, right? Maybe it's the defense. The offense, we saw them lose like recently 13 to 12 at home against Philadelphia. They couldn't convert on the 2-point conversion. There's just something off about them. And if you're talking about playoffs, I don't want to do this, and I normally have like having in my mind like the Bears or like the Jags, so like these are bad teams, but they're not. They're good this year, and they're on an 8-game win streak. And I picked the Broncos money line over the Jags like 3 weeks ago in Denver, thinking that the Broncos were cream of the crop in the AFC, and the Jags went into Denver and beat them 34-20 in Denver, and that really swayed my mind that like, all right, I got to start taking Jacksonville seriously now. They're obviously legit. They're putting up points on who we think is the best defense in the AFC. 8-game win streak. It goes against my thought, but I think you got to take the Jags in this situation here. Although Josh Allen is the better quarterback other than Trevor Lawrence, it's a team game. TC, like you're mentioning, the amount of turnovers that Jacksonville has been able to force. I mean, that's a big momentum swinger, especially when it comes in the playoffs as well. So yeah, let's come join you here. Let's take the Jags +1.5. Take the Jags money line. I do not trust this game though. If anything, I'd think about teasing either of these teams. And since we think Jags money line, probably tease the Jags at like +10.5 as well too. Trev, what do you think?
I needed to sit here real quick and I needed to survey where the Bills euphoria was at.
Yeah, where you're on
And
the
that
chart?
that that Bills euphoria meter is zero.
Yep.
Zero euphoria.
No
And you know
euphoria.
what happens when there's zero euphoria on the
It goes
Buffalo
back up.
Bills? 50 points. I'm riding the Buffalo Bills this week,
Let's
baby.
go. I love it.
Damn it, I wish I could come join you if you pick before me.
Yeah, I needed to survey the field. It's very important. I've learned over the last 3 years of doing this podcast, when you're up on the Bills, don't
It lets
be.
you
When you're
down.
when you're down on
Down
the
on the Bills,
Bills, you
they bring
better
you
be.
back up.
So I'm
Just like
I'm
they said,
riding.
they try to keep us
Yeah.
away. They never keep us coming back.
I'm gonna ride and see if the Bills euphoria meter is real. Something I think I've made up, and I think it's true, but we'll see after the end of this weekend.
All right, let's go. Buffalo, big win for them. I mean, if they can come down there and get the win, and Josh Allen's playing real good, maybe that's not a team that you want to see in the second round of the playoffs. You worried at all about their defense, Trevin? They haven't looked great recently, or is this more about Josh Allen, or just a gut feeling? What's making you pick that?
I mean, their defense is always, I mean, like their defense has always been kind of like a question mark over the last couple years, and I know that it's a little bit worse this year. Um, I mean, I don't know. They've had good defenses, but they never have like defensive stars, and there's always like that stat of like they have like I think it was last year, 2 years ago, like they're the only defense with like no Pro Bowlers. Like
Mhm.
that's all. It's just that's always been the question. Like really, the Buffalo Bills ride on, does Josh Allen and the offense go out there and just get
Light
on
up,
fire, slang the ball
right?
downfield, dominate time of possession? Like that's the Buffalo Bills in my opinion, and that's the question of does that happen this week or not? Josh Allen has a good history of playoff performance, even though his record is not good, but like his stats in the
Right.
postseason are
Insane.
good. And I think he comes out to play, honestly. I do think that they're probably going to have to make up for the defense. So Josh Allen's going to have to slang it. James Cook is going to have to try to put up some yards on the Jaguars rush defense, who I think they're one of the top ranked, if not the top ranked rush defense. I think. So that'll be very interesting. If they shut down James Cook, then it's really going to be kind of put on Josh Allen's back. But I think I think he shows up this week, honestly. I think he comes ready to play.
Yeah, I'm looking at their receivers now. He's going to need to get big contributions from Shakir, Kincaid, Knox, and they got to get something going with Coleman. They got to have,
Coleman, I was about to
a
say that guy's
tall
been in
wide
a
receiver
slump.
one. He's not been that dominant guy. They went out and got Brandon Cooks recently to kind of help fill some voids, and we did see him get a big catch against Philly. Ultimately, they lost that game recently, 13-12. But yeah, I mean, we're talking MVP Josh Allen here, especially when they get to the goal line. Anytime tutty scorer, I'd probably eye him this week as well. All right, let's move on, fellas, here. So we got our first discrepancy of the podcast here. Trevin is going to back the Buffalo Bills, while TC and I are going to be riding with Duval and the Jags this week. All right, let's go. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers going to play the Philadelphia Eagles, scrappy NFC game that we have here. Philly is favored by 6. They opened up the week at 3. That line has now moved to 6. So public is coming to back Philly. Analytics are giving the Eagles 56% chance to win this matchup here. As far as injuries go, Trent Williams is questionable with the hamstring. As far as the Eagles go, Lane Johnson is questionable with the foot. Those two could cancel each other out. Weather in Philly looking good, 42 degrees here. Fellas, who wants to take this one first?
I'll take it. I picked the 49ers as my division winners early in the year, and like there's just been something about the Eagles this year that's made me feel like they're off. Like they're losing weird games. They lost the Commanders last week. I mean, then they lost the Chargers, Bears, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants. I mean, it just feels like their offense hasn't been fully there together. Their defense is, all Georgia Bulldogs. They're freaking dominating on defense. They always have been, always will be. Um, but the 49ers, to me, like people talk about their injuries, they've dominated this year. I think that they look great. Christian McCaffrey has been a absolute stud, number one player in fantasy this year. And I think Shanahan is just like an elite, playoff quarterback for playing or quarterback coach for coaching against specific teams that he plays a lot, which is the Eagles. Um, I'm gonna go crazy off the wall. I'm gonna go. This is my first upset of a big spread. I'm gonna go
Yeah, I love
49ers
it.
money line. I think there's a lot of
Big
changes that are
cock,
coming.
rock.
A lot of changes coming to the NFL, a lot of changes in college football, 4 new teams in the college football playoffs. It's like, why don't we get a couple 4 new ones in the NFL? Like you go get I mean, who would it be? It'd be like the Texans, 49ers, Jags, and Bears. Like that'd be crazy if you have those four. But I'm thinking like this is gonna be a highly competitive game, one in the trenches. That's why you see the under over at like 44.5, nothing like right in the middle of the pack. But I think it's just going to be like who has ball last. So I think 6 is way too much. I feel great about 49ers plus 6, but I also feel good about a money line. So probably why I feel good about them plus 6.
All right, let's go. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Can't wait to clip those four teams. The
Purdy's a dog.
Niners, the
Purdy's a dog.
Bears,
Purdy's a dog. I'm glad he got paid.
Yeah, Purdy, 5 touchdowns recently against the Colts, going absolutely
Kind of has
bananas.
moves too. That guy
He
hit
went,
the like,
yeah, ooh, ooh,
he kind of
ooh,
hit that
ooh,
thing.
ooh. Went bananas against the Bears too, going out of control. He's got good feet in the pocket for sure and knows how to hit his marks. Kittle has been back. That's been clutch. Jawan Jennings been playing really good for them as well too. And he got arguably the best offensive player in the year, Christian McCaffrey. TC, Trevin and I had a debate when we were in college about who we thought would have the better NFL career. And I'm SEC biased, so I was like, "Oh, Derrick Henry, no doubt about it." And he's like,
Mm,
"No, no, no, Christian McCaffrey out of
McCaffrey.
Stanford." So we were kind of debating at the time, but the way it's played out, it's been a lot closer than I think you'd think though, because Henry's definitely had some big stat seasons.
But he's never come close to winning a Super Bowl. You know?
AFC Championship with the Titans was the closest that he got, but yeah, I mean McCaffrey is just a machine. I mean, you just got to give him credit. The guy catches, he runs, he does everything for that offense. They run it all
He
through
should have
them.
won a Heisman.
It
Yeah,
Sucks
is
he didn't.
it is crazy that both those we had that debate, but both those running backs like have had the longevity that they've had, and both have honestly turned out to
Hall of
be like
Famers.
some of the
I
best running
both. I
backs
think they
that
both
have
should be.
Yeah,
ever
I think
touched
King
the
King
field.
King Henry is going in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. And McCaffrey,
McCaffrey for
like, he
sure.
has to be, yeah.
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 All right, Trev Dog, how do you see this one playing out in Philly?
A little bit different than TC. I do think I am on the side of the 49ers injuries. I know that TC called that out. But that's kind of where I'm at. I do think that they are going to be limited by their injuries. Unfortunately, they were very limited last year, probably a little bit limited, less limited this year, but still limited. I do agree though with TC that the Eagles, something is just off about that team this year. It's kind of crazy that they were so dominant last year, and then like they just haven't been able to put whatever it
They
is
didn't lose
together.
anybody. It's like it's
Yeah,
weird.
it's a really weird. It's I don't really understand it, honestly. Um, what I will say though is that the Eagles have not blown out anybody this year. If they win games, they are down in the first half and somehow come back on like some wild like fourth quarter thing. And they either win or they lose on that. And so I do think that the Eagles win this game. I think that they're the better team. I think that the 49ers have
They
the
did beat the
injuries,
Raiders
Yeah.
31-0, but
Where
that's it.
but
It's
that
the
doesn't
Raiders.
count. That
where
doesn't
was
that doesn't count. Yeah.
where did all this Philly confidence when you guys talked me off of taking them against the Cowboys as my survivor pick to lose the season? Where did all of that go? I wish I had the skepticism back then.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But like, I don't know. I think that the 49ers they're struggling with injuries as they have the last couple years. So I do think that the Eagles win one here, but I like the 49ers a lot actually on the spread. If the Eagles do win,
Field goal.
I do not see this being a 6 point game. I see this being a field goal. Transparently, I hope the 49ers win. I would love to see the 49ers beat the Eagles, but um, the kind of logic and reason in me is saying more that the Eagles are going to squeak this one out, but it's going to be a field goal or something, maybe even less than that.
All right, so let's go fly, Eagles fly to get the win here, but bang bang Niner gang to get the cover there at +6 for those on the podcast. So yeah, a little bit more discrepancy that we have here. I mean, Philly Super Bowl champions last season, so I mean that has to carry some weight. The fact of their playoff experience as well too in recent seasons, and also the fact that we're talking about injuries. It's not just injuries; it's defensive captains and leaders, Fred Warner not in this game, and also Nick Bosa not in this game as well too for the Niners. But they've stepped up and they've shown a ton of resilience. I think if you're looking at coach of the year, you definitely have to have Shanahan in consideration for that, for doing a lot with less, as far as the tools that he has in his display. Guy like Mac Jones stepping in there, getting much needed wins for them against good opponents like the Rams earlier in the season. And Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind right now. They're playing good complementary team football. Unfortunately, though, they weren't able to beat Seattle last week. So Seattle gets the 1 seed and they're going on in the playoffs. This could be an upset for sure. I mean, I sense it a little bit, could be an upset. But I'm going to go with the Eagles here in this one. I'm going to trust the Eagles defense. You got Cooper DeJean. You got Mitchell on the other side of that. They picked up Jalen Phillips this season. We're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs that they got on the defensive side of the ball. I expect big contributions from Jalen Carter, from Jordan Davis as well too. The game's in Philly. I mean, that's a rough environment to play in if you're a road team going in there. Brock Purdy is going to have to keep his cool and going to have to get hot. Otherwise, that could get overwhelming in a place like that. Yes, the Eagles' offense has been sketchy for sure. There's no doubt about it, and they're not running the ball well this season, which has been a big factor for them not being able to open up that pass game. Jalen Hurts has looked a little bit out of sync with his receivers. But I'm just going to go with Philly's experience here. I'm going to go with their defense over the Niners defense. I think Philly's defense is better than the Niners defense is. And I think Jalen Hurts is a dog. I mean, the guy's a winner, whether he's going to put his shoulder down on the goal line to get the end zone or whatever he's going to have to do. He's going to figure out some way or somehow to get it done. And I think Saquon Barkley steps up this game. He's had a very mild season, but I think the playoffs is a good time for him to step up. So let's fly. Eagles fly this week. As far as that 6 points goes, I'll take Philly with the 6 this week. A little bit different to touch on there. All right, let's go. Next up, fellas. We got the Bolt Gang, the LA Chargers at 11 and 6, going to play the Patriots, Pats Nation at 14 and 3. This is going to be the final game that we have on Sunday. Spread wise, New England is favored by 3.5 here, with analytics giving the Patriots a 53% chance to win this matchup here. As far as injuries go, everything looking pretty normal. Booty is his name on the Patriots, is questionable with a hamstring. 35 degrees in Foxborough. Going to be cold. Going to be a classic playoff game. No more Tom Brady nowadays. Here comes MVP Drake May. TC, how do you see this one playing out in Foxborough?
I mean, we were talking about it earlier. It's like the Patriots just have like they had a great season, but they didn't beat anybody good. You know
Fool's
what?
gold, smoke and
Like,
mirrors.
uh, I hate the Patriots, man. Like, I love Drake May because he went to my high school, but I hate the Patriots, and I like Harbaugh and the Chargers. I think the Chargers are better this year than they ever have been. And I think this is their best shot at a Super Bowl. And we just saw the downfall of one Harbaugh. How good would it be if like, oh, this guy's been snubbed for his whole life not being an NFL coach, and his brother has. Now he goes and wins a Super Bowl in his second year as head coach. I'm gonna go with the Chargers money line, Chargers plus 3.5. I
Making me nervous over here.
think Herbert's gonna come back healthy and start dealing. And I think the Patriots have a real test this week that they haven't really had. So, I'm going for another upset. Chargers.
Damn. All right. Bolt Gang getting the backing from TC this week. Love to hear it. I mean, the Chargers, talk about a franchise that's starving for a win. We know a whole lot of Chargers fans that tend to just come up short in different situations, but Harbaugh is a winner for sure. We saw that with him at Michigan. He also played for the Chargers himself as a quarterback in the past, and he's got them playing some inspired football and winning, close games this season, like against the Eagles on Monday Night Football we saw earlier. Trevin, how do you see this one playing out in Foxborough?
Yeah, I actually like the Chargers on an upset here. I like the Chargers more as an underdog than I do if they were favored, actually, just because of historical Chargers
Exactly.
organization
Exactly.
shenanigans. So I would rather them be coming into this game as the underdog. But yeah, I
Well, I
mean,
mean, they're
like,
plus 3.5, so
yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, we said this earlier. The Patriots have had a cookie,
Cakewalk.
like just an absolute cakewalk of a season. They're going up against the Chargers, which are a good team aside from the offensive line injuries that they have and the fact
The
that,
best team they've beat is the Bills. I mean, I let's just say the Ravens, but like that's the only playoff team that they've beat this year.
yeah, and if Justin Herbert can kind of stay upright here, I think he kind of goes off a little bit against the Chargers. Drake May has obviously been in a hot streak, but this could be the first game that he's really under some pressure, especially with that Chargers defense. How does he handle that pressure? How does he handle the spotlight of being in a playoff game? I think that's a lot of unknowns, honestly. And it's just all of that kind of combined is making me feel like this is a Chargers upset in the making. Chargers, I mean, like I said earlier, Chargers as an organization are one of those teams that lose the games they're supposed to win and win the
hmm
games that they're supposed to lose. And this is just kind of perfectly teed up to be one of those scenarios.
hey, it's like sometimes you got to think backwards. Like the Bills, it's set up for them to lose. Here the Bills come to get a win this week. The Chargers, oh, you're down and out on them. Here the Bolts come this week, take care of business. All right, so that's two on the podcast here. Back in the Chargers this week. If you like the Chargers, now you got some confidence in your pocket here on Parlay with the G's. Both underselling the fact that the Patriots have gotten 14 wins this season, but a cupcake schedule could that war of attrition, the gridlock that the Chargers have had to gone through this season, all of the scrappy games that they've had to win, that's going to make them battle tested to be able to go into this playoff game in Foxborough and take care of business here. Both on the panel going with the Bolt Gang this week. I'm rolling the Pats, fellas. Come on, what do you think here? It's the team that's the best team against the spread this season. I understand that you're saying that they're beating not the best teams on their schedule, but you can only play who you have on the schedule, and you got to take them straight up. And go look at the stats this season. The Patriots are the best team against the spread. Whenever they're favored by a certain amount, they cover that. So how could I go against the Pats in the playoffs here? If they're favored by 3.5, I'll take them by 3.5. The Patriots have notoriously covered this season. I'm not going to turn my back on them now going in the playoffs here. Am I nervous because both of you guys are on the Chargers? Yeah, I could see a universe where that happens. But I also could see a universe too where it's home game, it's Mike Vrabel. It's not just about the Patriots offense, it's a team game. The defense can force turnovers. Someone on special teams is going to make a play for them. Drake May has been solid. We're seeing Ramondre Stevenson in the end zone recently to go along with Travion Henderson. They've got like 4 or 5 wide receivers that they can throw the ball to with Diggs, with Henry, with Booty. It doesn't really matter who it is. Someone's going to get the ball. They're going to win as a team. I'm going to keep riding that here. I'm going to go with the Pats here. I'm also going to take them to cover just for the sheer fact that they've been covering all season long. I'm happy we got some discrepancy here. I'm very interested to see if the Chargers are in your circle of trust here this week. That's left to be seen. All right, let's finish up here. We got Trevin Steelers on Monday Night Football, where the Houston Texans, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, 9-game win streak from where they started this season at 12-5, going to play the Steelers at 10-7. Steelers with a heroic win against the Ravens recently on Sunday Night Football. Texans favored by 3 points on the road here in Pittsburgh, and analytics giving Houston a 54% chance to win this matchup here. As far as the injury report goes, Jonnu Smith is questionable with lower body, but he'll likely play in this matchup here. Weather in Pittsburgh Monday night looking cold, 36 degrees. All right, here we go, Trevin. How do you see the Steelers faring in round one of the playoffs here?
For my own sanity, they need to make it past the first round of the playoffs. So I will say, before I give you the logic behind my pick,
Yeah,
I am going to pick the Steelers no matter what, because I'm going to smash my head through a brick wall if they get knocked out in the first round. Okay. So now that you all know that my logic that I'm about to talk about may be influenced a little bit by my heart. Look, like the Texans are a good team. You know, we said at the beginning of the year we thought the Texans were going to be a powerhouse. They burned all of us on this podcast on a couple of occasions where we were just super confused and we're
It
like,
was the
hey,
Jags all along.
yeah, like they're not the team that we actually thought the Texans were. And then of course the story of this season has been the ups, the downs, the craters, all of that, of all of these different teams. They kind of turn it around and become the team that I think a lot of us thought they were at the beginning of the season. But going into the game itself, look, I think CJ Stroud has built a bit of a reputation of not doing well under pressure. And I think, and when I say under pressure, I mean not like the game, not the moment's too big. I mean defensive pressure. And I think TJ Watt is going to be up in this dude's face, making him make bad decisions. He's not going to be making his progressions, his reads quickly. I think TJ is just going to. I think honestly, I think this game is probably won and lost on how TJ Watt does during this game. And I think with him back healthy, looking good again, I think he's going to have
Game record.
himself a game. On top of that, we have DK Metcalf back from his idiotic
Big.
2-game suspension for punching.
Yeah, we never got your
I hate
take
my
on
own
that. Yeah.
name.
We never got
punching
your
a
take
fan in
on
the
that.
face. I mean, dude, my take on this is I'm still upset that your Cowboys had to steal Pickens, so I couldn't see both DK
Let's
and
not bring the
Pickens.
Cowboys into this.
No.
We
I'm
have an
upset.
isolated event of
No,
him going to the
no.
sideline.
Can you imagine the memes and just the entertainment that I could have even if we get knocked out of the first round of the playoffs? If I had DK Metcalf on the sideline punching a fan in the face and then like Pickens fighting a corner like 50 yards downfield, like I wouldn't even care, honestly. I'd just be like, dude, this is like a WWE Raw super match out here. And like I don't care if you guys lose games or whatever. I'm just here for the entertainment of like our two wide receivers crashing out. So I mean, obviously, like on the DK front, there was the rumors that,
The racial
some words
slur,
were said
right?
by the
The
fan and
guy
then he
denies
punched
it,
him.
said said nothing.
Which, like, if that were true, it's still an idiot. Like, it's just a low IQ, regardless of why it happened, whether it was justified. It's a low IQ move by DK. Come on, dude. Like, you're gonna punch a fan in the face and like not think that there's gonna be a camera on you. Like, obviously, that's not gonna go over well. But then there's all this footage released that was like it sounds like that was made up, which is also not surprising that someone does something stupid and then tries to blame it on like a racial thing because that's like the easiest scapegoat of
Right.
like personal ownership of something ever, and it looks like that was entirely false. So look, I still love DK. He's our wide receiver one. I like him, but like
Fuck that guy with the
it
blue
was
wig.
stupid. It was stupid. Like it was not necessary. It was stupid. It was probably. It sounds like his story was a lie. Um,
That's why the Lions
it
didn't make
it
the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, the Lions didn't make the playoffs, so
Fuck them.
whatever. Yeah, we're up. I'm
Fuck the
happy to
Ravens
have.
and fuck this guy with the blue wig.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
I'm happy
everybody
to
in the
have.
NFC South except for the Panthers.
I'm happy to have DK
Since we're on our
back.
fuck list here.
I think it's a game changer for the game for sure. The offense is different when they have a threat like that. There was a couple instances against the Ravens where we got into the red zone and we're throwing the ball into the end zone and there was dropped passes or we couldn't like kind of finish it off. And the commentary the whole time was like, if you had a dude like DK here, this
Right.
throwing it up would be a lot easier. Like someone else needs to step
That's a
up and make
big deal that
plays.
he's coming back this week.
Yeah, so I think all of that put together, my own heart in this aside, those are the reasons I would ride the Steelers in this wild card week.
Yeah, and you got an over under here of like 38 and a half with two great defenses. So I think this game could definitely be in that
The
territory.
Steelers is a classic underpick.
Yeah, classic, right?
Yeah,
This is going to
classic.
be like 16-13, 13-10, something like that. Um, yeah, I met DK Metcalf in the airport one time, and I saw a viral clip of him talking on like Kevin Garnett's podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, I wake up, drink coffee, like midday, like I
Eat a
love
bag of
candy.
Skittles.
Yeah, I love Skittles." And he's like,
Eat 4 5 bags of candy.
"Yeah, candy, fucking love candy. Rack that shit up. Eat like one meal a day." Everyone's like, "How the hell
Yeah.
do you look like that?" Like, so
Steroids.
I,
It's
I,
steroids.
I look at him and I go, and I just walk right up to him. I'm like, "Is it true?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Is it true that all you drink is a cup of coffee and have a bag of candy every day?" He goes, "Why would I lie?" I'm like, "Facts. You're the man. Have a great
Great
flight, bro."
interaction.
Yeah.
Should have bought him a bag of candy.
I really should have. I should have got him some Skittles. Be like, "Why would I lie?"
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and also I think for an athlete, it's really tough. We don't talk about it enough, like celebrities getting treated like zoo animals. It's really tough, man. Like when you're going out, people got a phone in your face. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. We saw this a few years ago with the Eagles and Joey Bosa, who was going there to support Nick Bosa. I mean, those Philly fans are nasty. Fuck you, Joey Bosa, your brother's a bum, and they this and that. And he kind of goes back at the fan like tick for tat. But I think a lot of the times it's just that skill of tuning out the noise, drowning out the noise, just knowing that it's not worth it. And it's not worth the money either. He probably cost himself like 250K because of that. And
Millions in incentives for bonuses.
More than that. Yeah, more than
yeah, I
that.
mean, like, and it's like the fan's obviously a piece of shit. He's like dogging him down, trying to say some stuff. And the fans are entitled. They think, hey, I paid for this ticket, so I can say whatever I want. But there's definitely a line there, and DK was like, "Fuck it, and I'm gonna go show this guy a lesson." So yeah, we haven't seen that one in a minute. TC, let's get it going here. Monday night in Pittsburgh. How do you see this one shaking out?
Dude, the Texans have the best defense in the NFL, and it's going to be hard for the Steelers
They call
to
it the
go
Swarm.
play. But it's Aaron Rodgers in the fucking playoffs. Let's not forget about that guy. I mean, that guy knows how to win playoff games. He knows, and especially like I feel like the Houston Texans are in a high power offense, and the Steelers don't have a bad defense. So, you know what, Trevin? I'm gonna come join you. I'm gonna do Steelers plus 3.5,
Wow.
but I'm gonna go Texans money line. Um, I think I think this game is won on a last minute field goal. Um, But I think the Steelers can keep it close, and I think Rodgers is going to take, a lot of game clock. He's going to eat the clock up. It's what he can do to short check down passes, maybe a couple big plays. But I see this as being like if the Steelers have the ball last, they win that game. And so I'm excited for this game as like much of a gritty game as I think this is going to be.
All right, so let's go the Toros to punch their way to the next round, but the Steelers to be able to cover for a 3-point game this week. We're also talking about as well for this podcast, the under is something that you can eye as well too. I mean, you got some really good defenses here. It's a very low one at 38 points, but I think I mean, TC, are you on the under too here? I think I would definitely eye something like that,
I
maybe
mean,
under
yeah, but it's
40.
so low.
But we
Like
don't
maybe
touch
buy
points here,
it.
right? Why get
Yeah, I
suckered
mean,
into that?
maybe buy it up a little bit, but I mean, it's like, why would you not just buy it down, like to take over 32.5? It's like,
Right,
that's
right.
a really easy number to get to, but it's a playoff game. You expect it to be like gritty in these two defenses. I could see it under.
All right, so let's go. We got the Toros on the dub here this week for TC. Trevin, for the Steelers, I mean, the fact that they're in the playoffs, they've got a few good wins here down the stretch against the Lions and a clutch one against the Ravens as well, too. I think seeing some of that magic from Aaron Rodgers at the end of the Ravens game, aside, right? Like TJ Watt, we know he's a baller. Typically, the defense has been better in previous seasons than they've been this season, is just like lights out. But you still do have guys like Cam Hayward. You still do have guys like TJ Watt. Joey Porter Jr. is a stud as well too in the secondary. Unfortunately, they don't have Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they could definitely utilize him a lot after losing him to Miami. But for the Steelers, that's what I kind of see there. That's how they're going to win this game is Aaron Rodgers just plays absolutely clutch out of his mind. And honestly, a lot of the times, especially when it comes down to playoff games, it's not your athleticism that's going to get you the win. It's all up here that's going to get you the win. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, for the years of experience that he has, he'll go out there, he'll look at a secondary, he'll recognize what coverage they're in, he'll check to the right play. Next thing you know, Calvin Austin's in the back of the end zone, and that's the best shot that they have. For me, though, on the other hand, I got to go with my second favorite team in Texas, and that's the Houston Texans, the Swarm, the 9-game win streak that they're on, the defense that's playing lights out. I have a vision in my head of their safety coming down and absolutely cracking Hollywood Brown in that Sunday night game that they played against the Chiefs. The point I'm trying to make is I think you feel it when you play against the Texans, and they're going to make the Steelers feel it this week and other teams that they play in the playoffs. I think the Texans, if they had Joe Mixon, I could see them going on a serious run here. I want to reserve the right to see who they play next week and how it's going to shape out. But I think the Texans defense can take them far this season. So I'm going to take the Toros. I'm going to take them with the 3 points as well here, too. But we do have a Panthers and we do have a Steelers rep on the podcast here. So we got to shed some light on them and all that's possible. Trevin taking the Steelers money line, TC taking the Steelers to cover this week. All right, fellas, let's get after it here. It's time for the Circle of Trust for Super Wild Card Weekend. Who's going into our parlay of the week with all the various options that we have here? It's time to cut a check. It's 2026, 2025 is behind us, and it's time to right our wrongs here. TC, why don't we begin with you? How is your Super Wild Card Weekend Circle of Trust looking?
Yeah, you got the bonuses back on DraftKings, so you just got to get a plus 300. And so
Oh, only a
you
plus
know
300.
it's let's have some fun this weekend. It's our circle of trust. I'm gonna give you a pick for every game. We're gonna start off. We're gonna do a six-leg teaser, starting with the Carolina Panthers plus 21.5. Don't see a playoff game going and losing by 21.5 or 22 points. That'd be crazy. Panthers plus 21.5 to start off on Saturday. Then we're gonna go Bears plus 10.5. We took them to
Mm,
win. We think they cover 10.5. It's gonna be a
yeah,
close
love
game. All
that.
of us agreed in that. Then we're going to go down to Sunday morning and down in Jacksonville and take the Jags plus 10.5. Again, think that's going to be a highly competitive game. Good defense in the Jags. I don't see them losing by more than 10. Then we have the 49ers versus Philadelphia, and we're going to go to the 49ers plus 14.5. If that game gets a little out of hand, spreads at 6, that's a weird spread. So take them at plus 14.5. I don't think they lose by more than 2 touchdowns. It's a playoff game in the 49ers. Then we have the Chargers and Patriots. We felt good about the Chargers money lines. Might as well take them plus 10.5. Again, we think it's a playoff game. It's going to be competitive. We like these big boy spreads, especially with good teams that we think can actually win. Taking them at plus 10.5 feels great. Then we're going to go down to the Monday night game. And I didn't know what to take of this one. It's hard because I was in between taking Steelers plus 10.5, but
Or
I
like
ended up
Texans plus three and a half.
taking Texans plus 3.5.
No.
So, I was leaning Texans money line, and I think if they lose by a field goal, last second field goal by the Steelers, so that, they'd still cover on the plus 3.5. So to recap, it's plus 308, 6 leg teaser. The Panthers plus 21.5, Bears plus 10.5, Jacksonville plus 10.5. 49ers plus 14.5, Chargers plus 10.5, and Texans plus 3.5.
Damn. All right, let's go. Teaser on the six
Every
leg.
game. Every
I
game. Why not pick every
tickle.
game? See how good
Tickle.
we are.
Tick, 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 tick. I love that TC. I would say the biggest one I'd be concerned about there, I mean, is the Panthers getting blown out, but 21 points is a lot. So
That's why I didn't do 17.5. It's why I did 21.5.
that's a lot. And then it would be the Niners, right? Like, is it the Niners really not their day? Philadelphia just
Again,
comes out
14
out
and a
of
half. The
control.
two sketchy games,
But
I
that's
took the biggest
14 points
ones.
as well, too. All
Yeah.
right, let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna tail that this week, TC. I'm gonna tail your teaser on the six leg parlay this week. Love to see it. And are you at plus 300 there? Or
Plus
what?
308 on the dot. So you get the boost. So now I'm at plus 400
Activated.
after the boost. So,
Bing!
yep.
Throw,
Cooking.
throw a little boost back on there. Bing! All right, Trevin, how is your super wild card parlay circle of trust looking this week?
All right, because I live in Kami, California, and I can't do cool teasers like all
We'll
of
we'll help
you.
you out over here. We just can't hurt the stat sheet so much.
Yeah, I can't do cool teasers like you on DraftKings. I can only take things like straight up. I don't have a circle of trust. There's nobody that I sit
You will
here
not
It's
and
the
show up
like,
to
playoffs.
this. You will
It's the
not show up to
playoffs.
this podcast and not make a
no, no, no,
circle of
no, no. I'll,
trust.
I'll get, I'll get there. I'm not picking a circle of trust though. I'm not picking a circle of trust. There's no circle of trust here on these current lines
Yeah,
against
if
these
you have to
current
take the lines
teams.
as is, it's hard.
I'm
I get it.
sorry. There's just not. So what are we gonna do in place of that? I feel better about a dog parlay than a
Let's
circle of
go.
trust this week because at least we're going to get some value here, right? And I'd rather get some value if I got to have games this close. And so I'm taking the Bears money line, I'm taking the Chargers money line, and I'm taking the Steelers money line.
Let's go. That's got to be plus like 1400.
I'm cooking it right now. Plus 1125,
Plus
my friend.
1125.
Plus
All right.
So
All
1125.
right.
if you don't
Just
got
a
a circle of
sprinkle.
trust,
Just a
you just
sprinkle.
get some value. You just
Yeah.
get some value over here in Kami, California.
Take the value.
Newsom, are you listening to this right now? This absolute bullshit. Are we really going to dig deeper to like why is Prize Picks allowed in California and that's it? And DraftKings can't operate there?
Newsom's too busy taxing billionaires to be concerned with this, unfortunately.
I think the reservations are just getting rich. They don't want any competition. It's like taxis with Ubers and Lyfts.
You
But
can't even sports bet on a reservation, though.
this is really confusing. I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out, like, I know it's Prop 27, but why the hell is it not there yet? It's
it's because they
You
opened
got
up
to
when they
follow the
tried to
money. Like if you really
when
want to get to the answer, you got to follow the money.
when
Who's losing the money here?
when they tried to make sports betting legal, they opened up a bunch of TV ads talking about how they were going to turn 13-year-old boys into gambling addicts and everybody was going to end up like a bum. And all the moms were like, "I don't want my child to be a gambling addict. DraftKings can't come here." And now we're just stuck here illegally sports betting, still turning
And
ourselves
now
into
you can't
addicts and
be an
becoming bums.
illegal gambling boy
Yeah.
addict, man.
But
I hope you
we
get
just
there one
don't get
day.
it. There's just no tax revenue on it. So we're still getting kicked to the streets, bums, no
Damn.
money, betting the mortgage, but you don't even get to collect the tax revenue, which is very opposite of what you would expect out of California, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's money to be made there. There's no doubt about it. I think it's a big missed opportunity for them. Kind of look like Colorado and Washington too, right? As soon as you legalize cannabis, look at all the business and the taxing that comes from that and everything. Yeah, we'll wait to see the day where California opens up and also Texas too. That's another big state where it's like, how the hell is Texas not allowing this here? But they're not. And Florida as well too. You can do it, but Hard Rock like dominates the state. So you can't even touch DraftKings or FanDuel or anything like that in Florida. They've got some, deal going on with the Seminole County down there. All right, so let's go. Circle of trust this week here for me, fellas. I had three legs that I'm like, all right, but then I got the four legs. That's a little spicy here too. And in honor of TC doing six legs, I'll give you four legs this week. I'm not going to second guess it, and I'll give you four money lines. Let's start off with the LA Rams money line over the Carolina Panthers. I think the Rams can go all the way this season. It's time to start now. Let's follow that up. Let's go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and let's fly, Eagles, fly on the money line against the Niners. Both of you guys like the Niners this week, but I'm holding out hope for my Bulldogs. That's on the defensive side of the Eagles. I think they take care of business at the end of the day. Next up after that, you both like the Bolts this week. You like the Chargers. I'm fading the panel here this week. I'm going to Foxborough and I'm taking the Pats on the money line this week. I can't fade them now. They've been too consistent this season. I get it, it's the regular season, but I'm taking that momentum going into the playoffs. And then we finish the week with H-Town going to Pittsburgh, the Swarm, the Texans defense taking care of business in Pittsburgh. I would be pleasantly surprised if both your teams are able to win this week, but it's the playoffs. There's no telling what it's going to be here. So for this week, I got four money line legs for you this week. Total odds are coming out to you're well over plus 300 at that point. Just give me a second here. Looking at, give you a total number, plus 411 is your return on that. So you get to plus 316 total with those four money lines. Throw a 30% boost if you have the DraftKings app and you get 4x on your return. We're not going spreads this year. We're not getting cute. We're just taking outright winners on the money line. Let's go Rams. Let's go Pats. Let's go Eagles. Let's go Texans this week. All right, let's finish up, fellas. Survivor pick for the playoffs. Who's going to survive their way to the Super Bowl? TC, who's surviving this week for you?
I mean, God, I mean, I guess.
And by the way, you can't pick them
Well, I
again for
get.
the rest of the
Well, I was
playoffs.
about to say, so it's
We're,
probably
we're,
a
we're
clean
starting fresh.
slate,
Yeah,
clean slate for
let's
the
clean the
playoffs.
slate
Can't
here.
pick them
Yeah, let's
again
clean the slate.
after. Um,
We gotta make the side survivor pool here. I'll send one to you guys via email. There's a few leagues to get into.
let's go. I'm gonna go Texans.
All right, let's go Toros. Houston Texans win this week. Can't pick them again rest of the playoffs, which means
Don't
you
want to.
don't think they're
I
going to
don't
win the
want to.
Super Bowl. All right, let's go Toros. Trevin, who's your survivor pick this week?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the Bears.
Bear down. Ooh, and in your circle of trust as well too. Big, big, big Chicago week for you, Trevin. All right, for me this week, TC, I'm gonna come join you. Let's go Texans. I'm holding out hope for the Rams. Don't know what could happen with the Eagles as well too. The Pats is you guys think they can lose the game, so how could I have them as a survivor pick here? Yeah, let's go. Let's go Texans as well here too. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this Super Wild Card Weekend Edition playoff time for Parlay with the G's. We got Trevin O'Kane, Steelers Nation co-host in the building today. TC Ty Cobb, Panthers Nation in the building today. Trevin's got three legs for you this week. Dog Parlay, followed up with TC six legs. Epic teaser that we have this week as well too. And I'm rolling out with four legs, 4x return on the money line. Fellas, time to cash in this weekend's playoff time, baby.
Playoffs.
Playoffs,
Money.
playoffs, money. Peace.
Later.